Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia. Last time we met Drusilla, Diana's younger sister, played by newly discovered Debra Winger. Drew was supposed to bring Diana back to Paradise Island, but found herself caught up in the war against the Nazis. Now she's been captured because they think she's Wonder Woman. The main man on the scene, Captain Radel, is about to find out the hard way if she really is. At the end of part 1, it looks as though he's going to shoot her to test the bracelets. But he has a different idea. He puts a bulletproof vest on Peter Knight, roughs him up a little, and throws him into the cell with Drusilla.
I brought you some company, Wonder Woman.
I won't use the Batman Begins clip again, I promise. But she really hasn't learned to mind her surroundings. Peter realizes that she reminds him an awful lot of Diana's sister Drusilla, but of course it can't be her. And we have the answer to our previous question. Yes, she knows how to do bullets and bracelets. Radel takes them off her and leaves her in the cell. At the War Department, everybody is trying to figure out why Peter Knight didn't show up this morning. But he's busy trying to analyze the metal the bracelets are made of. Radel wants to torture it out of Wonder Woman, but Peter decides to try and charm it from her. She wakes up to find him, looking like he's been beaten up, and he says, "We've got to get out of here."
Oh, you have these powers. I've seen you. You're super strong. You can deflect bullets.
But not without my feminine bracelets, and, well, they took them from me.
What's feminine?
It's the metal that we make the bracelets from.
TMI, Drew. It's a metal that's only found on Paradise Island, so of course they call it Feminum. And my brain goes about 19 different directions in response to that, none of them good, so I think I'll just leave it there. No, I won't. Sorry, I get that we're all about women, but Feminum? That shows a lack of imagination, or effort, one of the two. He starts quizzing her about Paradise Island. She won't tell him where it is, of course, but he starts asking about the night sky, and before she knows it, they have enough astronomical information to triangulate the location of the island. Charts show nothing there, but Radel is ready to take a squad and check it out. Meanwhile, he tells Knight to get back to the XPJ-1. They still have a plane to steal. At the War Department, Steve and Diana are still trying to figure out where Drusilla could be.
One of our Navy ships intercepted what they think is a Nazi signal.
Emanating from where?
Somewhere off the Florida coast.
What's happening?
Well, the Nazis are ordering up a land attack force, but there's no land there.
Where?
Well, right there. 3022 north, 6447 west.
Steve, I've decided to take your advice. Perhaps Drusilla did go home after all. I'd like some leave.
Certainly. Anything I can do to help? Arrange transportation or something?
Thank you, no. I have my own transportation.
Indeed she does. She takes the invisible plane back to Paradise Island and warns Hippolyta.
The Nazis know about Paradise Island, and I believe that they are going to attack us.
Now, what would the Nazis want with us?
Well, in my identity as Wonder Woman, they know many things about me, and about the feminine bracelets. I believe it's the feminine they want.
Hippolyta has Diana put a contingent together to go to the other side of the island and defend the Feminum mine, then decides to go along herself.
These Nazis don't stand a chance against my Amazons.
Don't be too sure, Mother. They're clever and they're devious. Like most men.
Like your American friend, Major Trevor?
He's clever, but he doesn't have a devious bone in his body.
You should know, daughter.
Mother.
She is confident that her Amazons can repel a Nazi invasion and protect their Feminum mine. She is mistaken.
That are no good at all.
The young Amazons weren't taking Diana seriously. They are now. The Nazis take Hippolyta captive and tell the rest, "You work the mind force or we kill your queen." They take away everybody's bracelets just to be sure they have the upper hand. Back at the airbase, Peter Knight finally showed up.
Oh, listen, I just signed on a new chief mechanic. I'd like you to meet him. He's brilliant. Harvey? Harvey, come on over here. I want you to meet Major Steve Trevor.
The same guy who stole the first one, except they never got a good look at him, so we're the only ones who know that. Drusilla, meanwhile, is still under that cell in the deserted warehouse. And now she's not. She heads back to the airbase where Steve won't believe she's been a Nazi prisoner. She says also, Peter Knight is dead. They tortured him and killed him. Steve shows Peter to her and says he's been right here all along.
Was he really there the whole time?
He has.
Except for the morning before last.
Right. He was working on it. How did you know it was day before yesterday?
Major Trevor, he's a Nazi spy.
She says if you don't believe me, go ask him a few pointed questions. Steve does so.
Where'd you go the other morning?
Why?
I need to know.
Well, I had to see someone. Personal business.
Captain Radel?
Who's Captain Radel?
You tell me.
Who made these allegations?
A young girl said she was kidnapped by the Nazis, and perhaps you had something to do.
There's MPs everywhere and they swarm him like the Seahawks defense. Trevor says take him away. He forgets about the new mechanic Knight just hired. He tells Drusilla that Diana went home for a few days and that's all Drew needs to hear. Flag on the play. Diana already took the invisible plane back to Paradise Island. How did Drusilla get it? Either it has a remote control autopilot so she can call it, or they have at least two of these things. But the way they call it the invisible plane hints that there's only one. I'm writing this on Thanksgiving Day, and once again I'm thankful I don't have a continuity alarm. The Nazis have a cargo ship coming in a few days to pick up the ore that the Amazons are mining. By the time it gets there, the mine will be completely played out and they'll have all the feminum in the world.
What about them? Berlin is interested in where they get their strength and longevity. We're to send them to Berlin for study and possible breeding.
As strong as they are, even without their bracelets, I'm sure they'll gladly submit to forced breeding. The captain tried it with Hippolyta. For the rest of his life after that, he was known as Stubby. She knocks out that guard, then she and Diana sneak off to formulate a plan. Step 1, get everyone's bracelets back to them.
Drew, what are you doing here?
Take this.
Good thing for them those guys aren't too observant. You've seen one blue-clad butt, you've seen them all, I guess. Diana sneaks up and shows Hippolyta that she has bracelets again, whereupon let the diversion begin.
You hit me one more time, and I'm gonna do something about it. What are you gonna do? Just try it, and you'll see.
Oh, break that up! Stop it! You hear me? Stop it!
Even Captain Radel can't resist watching a girl fight. While he's down at the water's edge trying to restore order, Diana comes in and gets the bracelets out of his pack, substituting rocks so he doesn't get suspicious. Now it's time to hand them out.
Take these bracelets. Tell the others to get theirs as they come down.
But before she can distribute all of them, a problem arises. We have a guard missing. Diana gives the rest of them to Drew and says, pass them out as quickly as possible. We're going to have to accelerate the plan.
Stuck it! Please, you swine, I told you!
In the water, Drew has handed out all the bracelets, so it's time for action. But it's not over.
You will release my men and take off those bracelets, or this old woman will die.
Daughter, I command you.
I mean what I say.
I know you do. Do as he says.
Captain Radel,
Madame,
did I understand you to call me an old woman?
you did.
That's what I thought you said. Diana, would you care to discuss it further? Go on, shoot. That's what you came here for, isn't it? But you know what will happen? Or you could admit defeat by an old woman and drop your gun.
Why didn't he just slap it out of her hands? Conveniently, the Amazons have a drug that'll wipe the men's memories for the past week. Berlin was never convinced this uncharted island existed, so when the squad ends up in an American prison camp, the matter will be dropped and Paradise Island will be safe again. But before the memory wipe, Diana has some questions for Captain Radel.
Now tell me about Peter Knight.
I have nothing. He is working for us. He is a spy.
Is he still working on the XPJ-1?
No.
So the XPJ-1 is now safe.
Yes. No.
Yes and no. It's safe from Peter Knight, but as far as we know, it's still going to blow up like the first one did.
There is another man.
Who? What is his name?
Carl Wirtz. He's working undercover as the chief mechanic on the project.
Diana says, you've seen what they're like. I have to go back and stop them.
Go then.
Me too? I can help. I've helped before. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be prisoners of the Nazis.
Very well, Drusilla. You may go with my blessing. But now listen. Now, the minute you finish, you're to come right back home to Paradise Island. Do you
Yes, Mother, I understand.
From that day forth, Drusilla was known as Me Too. At the base, the German pilot knocks Steve out. He really needs to learn to watch his back. He's running out of places on his head to put lumps. Anyway, he takes Steve's place and gets in the jet just as Wonder Woman and Me Too get there. Diana says, you stay here while I go stop the plane. He gives it up and shuts the plane down just as Steve comes running out of the locker room. He and the general head out to the runway while the pilot hops out and runs away.
Hello.
Though not for long. We don't know what she does next. It's left to our imagination. I love it. Steve hops in the jet and takes it on its test flight, which of course comes off without a hitch. He takes Diana and Me Too out for goodies, and we see Me Too learning how to be a typical American teenager.
Hey, you really know how to cut a rug.
I know how to dance, too.
That's what I said.
Gee, could I have some more ice cream?
More?
Yeah, there's still 3 flavors I haven't tasted yet.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Oh, neat.
Fortunately, typical is a fairly flexible word. She still has to go home because one of them needs to be there with their mother.
Well, I sure don't want you to go.
You don't?
Why, no. You're the best secretary I ever had. It'd take me weeks to replace you. I'm just kidding. The truth is, you're irreplaceable. And I don't mean just as a secretary.
Aw, she's gonna have some sweet dreams about him tonight. I like Me Too, Drusilla. She's the perfect combination of the powerful, smart Amazon and the ditzy teenager. She'll be back, and they can't bring her back too often to suit me. She's not only a strong character in her own right, she's a great sounding board for us to learn more about Diana. A lot of shows would only introduce an important new character like this when ratings started sagging, the way Batman did with Batgirl in the 3rd season. That's not what this is. We're establishing something early on that's going to serve us very well down the road. Very smart and very enjoyable. Debra Winger, making her TV debut at age 21, absolutely killed it. I never questioned the character for a second. She played it that well. I already mentioned the costume, but I can let that pass. Her naivete in that cell when Peter was wheedling information out of her and she doesn't realize it, and how devastated she is when she has to tell Hippolyta and Diana that it's her fault the Nazis know about Paradise Island. I'm not watching a 21-year-old playing a teenager. I'm watching a teenager. We all know it only got better for her from here, and it's pretty obvious why. The multi-pronged story held my interest from start to finish. So far, this show is exceeding anyone's expectations for quality of writing, acting, set design, and all the rest. And this quickly, it was already gathering a strong following. People knew good television when they saw it, and this was good television. It didn't rub our noses in the "America is still great" stuff. It just told us stories from the greatest generation and let us draw our own conclusions about the message. And it worked. Wonder Woman helped us feel good about being Americans again. She reminded us that the country had real integrity once and can have it again. Each of us just has to want it badly enough. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.